The 40-yard dash run by Xavier Worthy of the University of Texas is the number one. And I've been there. I've been through a lot. I saw Vernon Davis jump out of the old RCA Dome.
I remember that.
Okay. And Dallas Turner of Alabama was the first one to run as fast as somebody who also jumped as high as Vernon Davis and weighed as much as Vernon Davis. So we're seeing, defensive linemen now test like tight ends who back in the day were testing like, nobody else. I've seen a lot, in other words. But Xavier Worthy setting the 40-yard dash record. And I was there for John Ross's 4.22. And I was there for CJ 2K's, 4.28 back in the day. I was in the stadium for both of them. This is the number one combine moment I've ever witnessed. Because it was a harmonic convergence of so much. From his abilities and his desire to test. Now, I know he didn't do on-field drills after this. He just ran the 40 and then put on his backpack and strolled out, sort of like half a Dion, although Dion swears he didn't run his fast 40 into a tunnel and into a waiting car. He's denied that. But Worthy, in this combine where fewer and fewer players are doing everything, and some didn't do anything, Jaden Daniels refused to even step on a scale, I think. He wouldn't even be measured. Okay. As we know, Caleb Williams declined to be medically examined, which puts an interesting wrench in things. If the Chicago Bears want to draft him first overall and trade Justin Fields and intend to do so in the next week because Ryan Poles says he would like to accommodate him, and also this team and the Bears needing to make this trade because if other teams start filling up their quarterback openings, that's one fewer team that will be interested in acquiring Justin Fields, who does need to be offloaded if they're drafting Caleb Williams, and they won't do that unless they give him a full medical exam. That didn't happen this past week. So that and the fact that this definitely didn't happen when Vernon Davis was jumping out of the building. This definitely didn't happen until a couple of years ago. Fans in the building, 16,000 fans in the building, and many of them outfitted with an earbud and a device that connected them and their eardrums to the NFL Network broadcast. They were listening into what Daniel Jeremiah was dropping, and Stacey Dales was telling stories, and anytime I opened my mouth. Put it all together, and when Xavier Worthy ran his first 40-yard dash at 4.25, this is another advent of the Combine over the past several years, they're now showing the live broadcast on the huge Jumbotron in the corner of Lucas Oil that the players, if you've noticed, when many of them finished their 40-yard dashes, they looked up to their left. They're peeking to see what their time is.
It hadn't been there before?
No, sir. That started just last year.
Wow.
Players were just completely... Taylor Lewan told the story when he came on the broadcast yesterday that when he ran his 40... He had no idea. This is 2014. He had no idea what he had just run. None. He needed to have a friend of his who was looking at his phone and saw after a while it got posted on what used to be known as Twitter. And that's the way he found out. Sometimes you'd look down and get a text from somebody, hey, we saw your time on NFL Network. And then it took forever to get the official times. Forever. Right. They used to wait for every single human being in the position group to be done running. So if you had a fast time in the first half of your group, you had to wait till everybody in the second half of your group to find out the official times.
Wow.
That's been changed.
Rich, I heard someone say that the guys would have to get back to the hotel after they left to even know
Sometimes
how they
it
did.
took forever. Now all I got to do is just peek up to their left and they could see it.
I like that.
So he's got a 4.25 40, and he goes and he runs back to
He was cooking. That was fast.
It was fast. And I love it. Daniel Jeremiah could just see it on the eye test. When somebody gets out fast, he'll just go, oh, he's rolling.
Yep.
And so Worthy goes back to the rest of the position group in the end zone where, the 40-yard dash start line is. And our cameras cut to him looking at a phone that his fellow receiving colleagues are showing him the 40-yard dash because now it's immediately posted. And you could hear one of the receivers say to him, take your shoes off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You're done.
Yep.
4.25. You can't do any better than that. So then we're watching because Worthy, W, happened to be alphabetically the last player in the group to run. Everybody's running through their second 40s. And Daniel and I just begin to wonder, is he going to run again? And we thought, I guess he's going to take his shoes off. Stacey Dales chimes in, he's planning to run again. At which point, fans started cheering because they were listening to the broadcast in their ears. And that led to a buzz in the building. There were about 6 more runners till Worthy was going to run. I even then said, well, I wouldn't change the channel. I'd stay right where you are. And sure enough, we're looking down because players might change their minds. He wanted the record. He wanted the John Ross record. And he stepped to the 40-yard dash line for his record attempting run and got whistled by Mark Gorsick, the longtime Steelers scout, who, by the way, is no longer a scout, but comes back just to do this.
Oh, that's cool.
Because he loves doing it. And he whistled the kid for, I guess, he twitched or something. The fans groaned. It's the first time Mark Gorsick's ever been booed for whistling a player.
That was kind of like a build-up, and then, come on,
you
man.
heard a groan.
Yeah, I was like, come on.
You heard an audible groan in the building. And let's do it again. And he then sets up and he runs it. And my reaction, if you watch it back, I just reacted. I just went, ooh. Like I was, this is an old school reference, like I was Bud Collins. You remember Bud Collins when you just do tennis back? Ooh. I don't know where that came from. I never do that at home. I don't know why I said that. But I said, ooh. And then the fans then looked up and saw the 4.22, as did Worthy. And the place went nuts. And he kept running. And he took a victory lap around this huge.
That was super cool.
I guess the only word for it is it's this huge platform that we place our cameras, and the combine places the cameras that's set up on the 20-yard line opposite the 40-yard dash start line. So all the teams can get the proper footage. He runs right around that, disappears, and emerges on the other side. And the rest of the position group, quarterbacks as well. I believe J.J. McCarthy was the first one to him. Now, Worthy used to be on Michigan.
Oh, okay.
He transferred to Texas. Oh, okay. So Roman Wilson was there. His former mates went up and just went crazy. The crowd went nuts. Stacey Dales ran probably the fastest she's run since she was in the WNBA. She starts interviewing him, and he needs to catch his breath. Yeah. He basically said, I don't know if I could be heard. I don't know if they shut my mic off or not. I basically said, I think you need to keep talking.
You could hear you.
You could hear me say that?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, Stacey.
It was unbelievable.
Stacey, keep going.
And then he starts talking, and it's just a delight. And it sort of dawned on me that over the last couple of nights, the official times are 1/100th of a second faster than our hand times on NFL Network. We give you our hand times. And it's a hand time by Mark Ross, the longtime scout that you see on NFL Total Access. He was so damn dead accurate. Mm-hmm. It's 4-1 if it comes back just as fast, the official times, as we have seen in the previous 2 nights. I mentioned this. You could hear when I say this now a buzz in the building. It's wild to hear you say something and fans are instantly reacting to it like I'm a live event. Sure enough, the times come back because, again, they're coming fast. Within 5 minutes, I make the announcement and the crowd cheers because they're listening in. and Worthy looks up and starts waving around. It is the coolest combine moment I've ever been a part of. I will never forget it. Never forget it. So, of course, we immediately start joking. I saw you tweeted this out too, Chris, that the Raiders are going to draft him because Al Davis back in the day would have signed him to a contract on the spot.
On the spot.
I love that they cut to Antonio Pierce pretty quickly.
They
after.
did. I know.
Instantly.
Mark Titleman, our producer, and the rest of the crew, they get it.
Yeah.
Charlie, your king of spring. We immediately started showing Antonio Pierce. Hey, man.
And he was in a white, sweatsuit type thing, looking like Al.
And again, we're all sitting here wondering, and I saw Florio post this over the weekend, and he's right. We may start seeing players who just decline to go to the combine, period, which I think would be a mistake. Caleb Williams was out there to the very end Saturday night. He basically, with Roma Dunze, turned off the lights in Lucas Oil. He went up, Caleb Williams, he stuck around. He was with his fellow combine mates. There's a certain camaraderie that I think coaches love to see too.
Absolutely.
But I understand, where this thing is going. Some coaches didn't show up. Some players are now saying, I won't even step on a scale. So for Worthy to run a 4.25 and say, not good enough. I'm so close to the record. All I need is to run 4/100ths of a second faster, and I got it. Whew. And he decides to do it and then does it. I'll never forget it. Just awesome.
Yeah.
Fittingly, he was, as you know, each player is given a number based on the alphabetical order and how many guys are coming to the combine. If you put up a photograph of him one more time, just to finish up this conversation, Xavier Worthy was wide out 40. 40.
Wow. Look at that.
He was wide out 40 in the 40-yard dash, and he is now the fastest man in the history of the scouting combine because 4.25 wasn't good enough. Awesome. Love it. Love it. Soup to nuts. What a week. And that stands out. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.